Good to see you again, Andre. Welcome back to another edition of Flooring by the Numbers live show.
Yeah, looking forward to this one, Mick, as always.
Very excited to have you with us. Sorry we didn't have a show last week. I was indisposed, but I'm back now in front of the cameras. We've got an exciting topic, as you saw from the headline there. We're going to be talking about the Flooring Academy this week, Andre.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mick, I think this is something that we've been really working on. I mean, it happened after most probably about 3 years of planning, and I'm really hoping that we can make this a very exciting thing for the industry.
All right, let's get into it. We've got a few visuals for you this week. So this is we're going to be talking about the Flooring Academy from us, Flooring by the Numbers, and it's really intended to help you improve your business. Totally focused on flooring and helping you drive your business to greater heights. So, as Andre and I, we've mentioned before on this show, we've been behind the scenes of over 60 commercial flooring companies. And so we know what the challenges are. We love your business. It's a great business, but there are some common challenges. And I think the next slide just summarizes some of those and why we thought the Academy would be something that would attend to these. What we have noticed, Andre, is that profitability is very low. I mean, the standard benchmarking, which are kind of self-reported, would suggest profitability is in the 4% range, but we've been behind the scenes, seen the financial statements, and we know it's more like the 1 to 3% range. And we know your business is very hungry for cash. Receivable days are tending to increase. GCs are holding on to your money. Often you think you're a bank rather than a flooring company. And this is not an easy business. I mean, one bad job can really jeopardize the business. The risks are high. And here's the thing that's really something that we wanted to stress this week. It's hard to recruit good people. Flooring, is less sexy than somebody sitting in front of a computer programming an app. And developing your existing people so that they can take over, so that they can lead, so they can shoulder the burden. Succession planning, very critical issue that we've heard more and more lately. And, there are 2,100 flooring companies out there, but they're all privately held mostly. And best practices are very rarely shared. But and there's really no place to go for improvement until now. Right, Andre?
Yeah, I mean, Mick, and here's the thing. We really have found, I think, a way, and we stress tested this a little bit. And the reality is that the Academy is not just about us. The Academy is more a global thing. It's about, the collaboration. We're going to talk a lot more about this. And, I think one of the key areas that we want to talk about are our goals, and we always love to start off with the goals, don't we, Mick? You know what I mean? And I think first of all, if the goal isn't clearly measured, it's a little bit vague, right? So we want to measure our goals, and we are talking about really the ability to use the Academy to improve the return on our investment. So, we want to get increased revenue, increased profitability, and really healthier cash flow. One of the things that we know is a strong cash business always creates opportunity. A weak cash business always suffers from creating opportunities. So, and of course, not that this is a critical goal, but, obviously, if you do those things, your business is worth more. And that's just a nice metric to have. Now, on top of that, Mick, I think this is one of the things that we sort of really believe is so important, is the ability to grow our people. I mean, you said in the beginning, there's some key challenges here, right? And, our ability to take our employees and create the ultimate succession plan is one of the critical goals that we want, because that's about employee growth, and our people are really important.
And this is a fascinating one, Andre, because we've been doing this for many years now, and I guess now I come to reflect on it, Andre. I think we've been very owner centric. We've been trying to drive some of the financial numbers, drive performance that the owners would relish. But as we've been working in these businesses, we've been working with, the contract administrators, the estimators, the salespeople, the project managers, and these people are all thirsty to improve their capabilities. And they're going, well, where can we go to, up level our skills? And we've been doing more and more employee development with that. And what it does is it provides this robust foundation for organizational health. So, the theme of the academy has gone from just, delivering some things that are meaningful for owners, but this is a place where anybody in the business can go and, enhance their skills and get to another level. And so we're very excited about being able to create an opportunity for anybody who wants to engage in your business in terms of driving, their skills and improvement.
Yeah, and just lastly on this thing is we're finding, while we've sort of socialized the academy, we're finding that the employees are actually demanding this more than even the owner, which is really, really exciting. So we've got a little bit of substance behind that. And then, of course, one of the key things is we are sharing best practices and leading practices that happen on a daily basis. So as they get identified, we share them. And
just one little snippet. We know that the average profitability is kind of the 1% to 3% range. Using our methods, we've gotten companies' profitabilities up into the 10 to 15% range. So it can be done. And underlying that, we've isolated those best practices, we've packaged them, and we can deliver them in the form of templates and dashboards and processes. So we'll talk a little bit about how we can get those processes into your organization. So here's how the academy is founded. Obviously, we're trying to deliver real results, as Andre said. We've got to measure it. A goal without a measure is just a dream. We don't want dreams. We want actual real results. And we want it in the form of revenue, profit, and cash. But the foundational elements are there's 4 key disciplines that we think, that we know the most successful flooring companies, practice on a daily basis. We've got to get that engagement of the employees, upskill those employees, and then have the ability to understand how our business operates, the knowledge, and we can represent that knowledge in the form of dashboards that we can use to drive continuous improvement and positive behavior change. So that's the construct. Let's get into it a little bit, Andre.
Yeah, I think the important part about this, Mick, is we do this in groups, right? Okay, so the Flooring Academy is something where we share knowledge, and it's not, so our ability to improve and learn is through collaboration, and we found that so many of us we're all of the same mindset. Yeah, there may be a few of us that competed now and then, but at the end of the day, we're of the same mindset, and we love the capability to actually do our learning by the actual physical doing. So, one of the things that the academy is going to be about is actual implementation, Mick, and this is often the hard part. The thinking sometimes can happen, etc., but the implementation is really, and we've got tools, we've got methods, we've got ways of doing this, we've got ways of managing data, and I love the collaboration part of this. Where ultimately people can even collaborate behind the scenes. They don't always have to do it when we're part of the academy. So it's something that I feel very excited about.
So here's a little phrase that I like. I might have to say it twice because I haven't got it written down here, but it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. Right. So by doing things, by ingraining that in our DNA, it enables us to think more clearly, more strategically. We make better decisions. So this learn and collaborate, and we're going to give you lots of cycles where we iterate things, we pilot things, we sit back, we talk about it, we pilot it a little bit more. And that muscle memory of doing things enables us to put things into the organization. We're not just going to give you a lot of theory that you read, but we're going to start doing some very, very practical things. They're going to embed this in your employees, in your organization. Very exciting.
All right. Well, Mick, what does that mean? I mean, let's get under the covers. All right. And the thing is, yes, it is about content, and as we said, so the content is often the best practice. The content is the way that we are going to improve, and usually we talk about improvement in a 2-month cycle. All right. So that is that's the hardcore, but not the standard, but in principle, that's the way it works. All right. And
Andre, we thought a lot about this, and we didn't want to design a program that would take years and years to implement. What we wanted to do is to give you like implementation sprints that we could put something in place, we see results, we celebrate those results, we cement that capability in place, and then we move to the next concept, the next discipline. So we're layering it on as we go through, but we're going to get really quick results. It's a monthly program, and each week we're going to have something that for you to focus on. And so every 2 weeks we'll be having a live coaching session. That's why it's weeks 1, 3, 5, and 7. And interspersed of that, you'll be doing some things. We'll be providing you some additional information. We'll flesh that out a little bit more. But that ability to implement things quickly, see some results, celebrate success, get excitement and engagement is one of the core design principles of the Academy.
Right. So there's always a cadence of activity, right? And that activity, the nice part about this is, depending on the topic, Mick, different people get involved, and ultimately, this gets infused throughout the whole organization. And that's really where it becomes very, very exciting. So Mick, well, let's talk a little bit about the key disciplines, right?
Yeah, we mentioned that there are 4 key disciplines or competencies that a successful flooring company needs. There are many, many disciplines, but these are the 4 that we've seen that if you get these really dialed in, you nail this down, and it becomes part of your daily focus, you're going to have a very, very successful business. And these are some of it's not exclusive with some other areas we'll be looking at, but these are the 4 key competencies. And the first being, how do we get new business into the organization? Finding new business, finding new opportunities, finding new clients, finding the right kind of clients and the right kind of work it's fundamental, because what goes in at this end is going to determine what comes out at the other end. So this is lead generation is something we'll be spending a lot of time on.
Yeah, and Mick, I mean, whether people use the word disciplines or core capabilities, but these are foundational elements, right? And I know they sound obvious, and the issue is that unfortunately we don't really, in the main, I mean, so we know this conclusively, we don't really do this as well as we should. And with these foundational elements in place, suddenly the ability to make more money, the ability to have a greater degree of fun in the business, this is what it's about. It's about having fun. It's about the excitement and not the firefighting. So with these disciplines in place, and with very specific techniques within these disciplines, that's the secret. With those techniques, we really develop these things in a way that truly makes, getting the job done a lot easier and more effective. Okay, so we've spoken about lead generation, right? Then, of course, there's the pipeline area. And, Mick, for us, pipeline is about three things. We talk about our activity in our pipeline. We talk about the quality of our pipeline, and, of course, the aging of our pipeline. So those are the three let's call them core techniques within our pipeline. And, I think people can already see there is a flow here. We ensure that the boundary from lead generation into pipeline, we're managing that risk of eliminating, bad stuff into the business. And of course, work in progress is about the current. So lead generation and pipeline, that's all about the future.
Right.
Work in progress is about the current. And, there's a couple of areas that we focus on in our work in progress. Mainly the profit that we have in our work in progress, so that we ensure we sustain and keep that profit, the ability to segment our underbillings and overbillings and manage them separately, and then, of course, at the end of the day, our ability to forecast our future earned revenue. And then, Mick, dashboards. Tell us a little bit about dashboards.
Yeah. So, we are flooring by the numbers. So we want to be able to use our numbers as a vehicle to be able to identify when we're improving, right? And that then we can actually do more of that kind of behavior. And so it tells us whether we're on or off track. And it's really management by exception. If we get things right, we are in the fire prevention business, and it allows us to focus on one or two things. So our dashboard gives us real insight into, where we need to be spending our time, where we're winning, where we're not doing so well. What are some of the things that we can eliminate? And having everybody involved in the numbers allows people and the organization to be much more successful. And I know, Andre, you have a sporting analogy you like to use to illustrate the power of numbers.
Oh yeah, Mick. If you take a football team, right, and you allow that football team to play without a scoreboard, so they're not allowed they don't know the score, and they're not allowed to measure any form of scoring activity, versus a football team that has an actual scoreboard. I promise you, Mick, the two, if you look at the two independently, they perform very, very differently. It is that way, and, to us, the dashboards are more about, how do we use our numbers to understand where we're going to improve. So that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
So those are the key disciplines. Now, Mick, please, the thing about this is when we look at this, it just doesn't mean this is what the academy is about. But these are the foundational principles on which we build our capabilities within the academy. So, those are the things that we really want to get good. And of course, there's much, much more to be spoken about.
So here we've tried to show you, if we take something like the sales pipeline, this is how it would work. We would, in week one, we'd introduce some of the concepts around, the pipeline, why it's important. Then we'd talk about, what are the key disciplines and the elements that we need to be in place. And then we'd start to build the skill or the tools. There may be some tools that we will build, and we're going to give you some, key tools, best practices, templates that we're going to customize and build for your business. And then we're going to implement those so that it becomes part of your fabric so that you can sustain that performance. So that's the kind of cycle that we'll see from the live coaching, and it'll be Andre and I either together or individually, depending upon the subject, taking you through that. So we'll have typically, a 90-minute to 2-hour session live every other week, which will give you time to start to put some of these elements in place, and we'll give you some coaching to be able to do that.
Great. So that's the live sessions, hey Mick. And then we're talking a little bit about, okay, the nice part about this is that this is this is the start of the work, isn't that right? Because what did we say? We get better when we do things, don't we? All right.
Right.
So we've got to be able to do things. So every week of live activity is followed up by what we call homework, right? Okay. I know that doesn't sound that aspirational, but
And you like homework.
okay, all right. Well, whatever word you want to use for it, that that's a little more aspirational, great. But you get this rhythm. I mean, you know what I mean. So
Yeah, and you'll have access to our online curriculum, our platform, to be able to we're putting workbooks on there, implementation examples, exercises for you to do that will reinforce the live sessions that we're having. So we're going to deliver content at a rate we think you can consume readily. We're not going to overload you, but the goal is, let's get something meaningful done in a couple of months, around some of the critical elements. And we'll put those things in place for you. And then we can, on our live sessions, we can celebrate. We'll have some hot seats for people to sort of ask questions, celebrate their successes. And we think this is going to be very, very, very exciting.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so here's an example of something that we'll build. We're going to give you some key dashboards, one of which will be, the pipeline report. This is an abridged version, but it's going to enable us to be able to navigate, and we'll have some training around each of these elements, why they're important, what you should be focusing on, and then you'll be coming back to us with Q&A around, well, I tried this and it didn't work, but this was successful. What do you think? And it's going to be a very interactive process.
Right. Remember, this is just an example, Amex, because I know people like, we know it when we see it type thing,
right?
Isn't that right? So if the focus for those 2 weeks was pipeline, we would actually deliver the tool that would be able to give you your pipeline, let's call it information and dashboard. And a way for it to automate it, make it a lot easier. But the key elements of what you need will be available to you with some implementation on your end. So, there is a bit of data, of course, and all that sort of stuff. But we have the tools, we know what works, and we will be giving that, during each individual session. So, yeah, and then Mick, I mean, there's another example. So we're really just going through, just the sort of the experience of what people will receive when they're in the academy, right? And I know this is a big passionate area of yours, Mick. So
right, I mean, this might not look that exciting, so we're going to make it a little bit more in interaction. So we've got best practices already codified into templates. This is a simplified version of the bidding process, and where those red flags is where we see some of the challenges and opportunities and how to overcome them. So we're going to tell you where the failure points are and where the best practices are. And I think the next slide, Andre, does that talk? Yeah. So what we've got are these templates, and one exercise we do is what we call the live map sessions. We package up these templates, put them in the mail to you, and you stick them on the wall, and you'll be able to go through an exercise of mapping your processes, your failure points, your best practices, and then we'll share that. And that whole learning and engagement, it's what I call a low-tech, high-touch process, because it's a map on the wall. It maps the key process. It identifies where best practice is, and then you can get your people to put things on there and sticky notes, and that whole process gets people to out of their silo, and they look at that end-to-end process and they go, oh, that's what happens when I hand this over to estimating. Oh, I see what happens when it goes to I could do a better job there. It's so much fun. So we're going to have a lot of fun doing that with you.
Right, because and Mick, there's always with each activity there's a goal, and we do believe in standardized processes. Okay, so the more we can standardize these things and make them easy for people, that makes them be able to perform the required task and then have time to actually do, the more value added stuff. Right?
And think about this. We've been in 60 commercial flooring companies. How many flooring companies have you gone inside? We've watched the best salespeople in each of those 60 the flooring companies, and packaged that best practice. You can't get that anywhere else. So we're just very excited.
Nice. Oh, I love it, Mick. All right. And now I suppose, Mick, we're talking a little bit about some topics. All right. Okay. Now, one of the
it says 3 core competencies there. There are 4 core competencies, and the first one is lead generation. Sorry, that was a typo on my part.
No, I think everybody understands that. No problem, Mick. So we, and really just those 4 core competencies, that is a bit of the foundation. So, we're hoping that as many people can start the process right up front. Even if you're not, that's fine. There is a way that you can catch up with the rest of the team. So
everything is recorded. You don't even have to be there for the specific time we have our live session, unless you've got some burning questions. But you can always email us. We're available for you. So all of this will be recorded. Everything's all on the curriculum, so you can do this. Fit it in with your agenda. So everything will be there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very important point. And then, from there, so we more or less got the first 6 months sorted out, 6 to 8 months, depending on the velocity. And Mick, we don't want to go into into a space where people can't absorb and implement. So we will, as the team improves, we can speed it up or slow it down depending on the requirements. And then the next segment of focus for us is about profit improvement. And we've got some really, nice, strong, sort of capabilities within that to really make a change to the profitability, and guys, one of the things that's very important for us is, profit improvement to us is about aspirational stuff, right? Okay. It's not about, reducing cost. So, you will notice that we can bring an organization from wherever they are today to something substantially better without cutting any real, employees or anything like that. We're not part of that. And this is not what this is about. So please keep that in mind. And then, of course, the next sort of segment of focus is cash. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build the competencies, make a little bit more money, improve our cash flow, and then we can get more into the sort of fun stuff. Hey, Mick?
Yep. Then we can start scaling the business in terms of productivity improvements and, best practices. So we've got more improvement techniques and practices that you could consume, so we need to be able to disseminate that. And look, you'll be the directors of the curriculum. You'll be saying, hey, my needs, and we're going to be sensitive to what you need. So this doesn't have to be, CAS. We're going to be, working with you to understand your needs, and we'll tailor and course correct as we go through.
Yeah, and so that's why it's very collaborative. So that's the most important part of it. All right, Mick. Well, let's talk about a little bit about the onboarding process, right? Because
So if you go to our website and you go to flooringbythenumbers.com, you'll see this. The Flooring Academy. You see it in the navigation bar at the top. Click on Flooring Academy, and you can schedule a call, with me or Andre. So we'll get on the telephone. Really want to understand what's particular to your business. Every business has unique needs, so we'll get on, talk a little bit about your business, and then the next step, if you click down on your PowerPoint there. Now, I know this is optional. I know you're very sensitive about your financial statements, but it's a gold mine. If you send us your financial statements for the last 3 years, we'll sign a non-disclosure agreement. We've seen 60 separate financial statements in different companies. We don't share that information. Only Andre and I see it, and we'll put that into, it would take that information, click down, Andre, and it will put it into what we call our business health test. That's the BHT, business health test engine, where we're going to interrogate that data. And then we're going to have a review with you at the end, that return on investment review. And every time we do this, you know, people are blown away. Now, it might be just the owners might just want to do this at the beginning. If you don't share your numbers, whatever your philosophy is, doesn't matter. We will, I guarantee, find opportunity in your business that will more than pay for your investment in the first year of the academy. We always find great opportunity. It's and we love doing it, Andre, don't we? It's so much fun.
We really do. I mean, we enjoy this because, you know, it becomes a very healthy discussion, you know, and the nice part about this, Mick, is it's your numbers. So this is not some fabricated ideology. We use your numbers, and for you to be able to come to the same conclusion. You know, I mean, so then, you know, it's irrefutable, and I mean, these are your numbers.
Yeah. So and once again, this is a one-on-one conversation just between us and you.
Right.
This isn't shared on the academy platform. We don't talk about this, but what we're going to give you are insights into your business that are going to help you, drive some things, immediately. So you'll love this.
The important part about that is you don't have any commitment after we've done the business health test. There's no cost to you. There's no commitment to you. There's nothing.
Good point. Yeah, you sign up for this. Go to the website. Sign up for this. You will do the strategy call. Understand where you're trying to go with your business. What are your personal goals? What are the business goals? We'll do the business health test. There's no obligation whatsoever, and we are going to blow your socks off with the business health test and our insights that we've gleaned and when applied to your businesses. There's no risk whatsoever. We're very big on measurement, right? This is, as we said, you remember at the top of the house was return on investment. We want to measure it. We're going to have a scorecard, and we're going to keep a scorecard for you and your business individually that we're going to review every quarter, so that we know and you're getting the benefits, they're sticking in your business, and you're seeing a material improvement in the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Mick, so look, this is about us being accountable, and we love, this is the part that we really do enjoy, because, it is a beautiful reflection on progress. Sometimes that progress is significant and sometimes it's not that significant. But over time, we start seeing a trend, and a healthier business becomes just so much more pleasurable. And yet we have to measure it. And once again, if you don't want to measure it, Mick, and you don't want to have the numbers, that's fine. That's totally up to you. But we like to have that. And at least it is a capability that we will provide if you are amenable towards it, right? So that's
right. And look, we've been doing this a long time. The techniques and the approach that we are teaching in the academy, we have delivered, in a number of flooring companies, where we've delivered significant results in revenue, margin improvement, cash flow. So we know that it works. Now, given that we're going to be implementing it, together, you're going to be doing things, the rate of improvement will be different for each organization. So we're not guaranteeing these results, but we definitely know that the best practices and the techniques that we've pioneered will work, have worked in flooring companies just like yours, and you can have tremendous success with this.
Well, Mick, I'm not saying we guarantee this, but these are results that get achieved, and we know that this happens if things are being implemented, right? Okay,
Right.
so we want a real commitment to this. If you're not going to be committed to this, please, guys, rather, okay. But we do want a commitment to this because we know that these results are real. And our ability to grow revenue, our ability to improve our margins, our ability to create a greater and continuously better cash flow. And guys, one of the things we try and do is get rid of debt. There's no reason why a established flooring company should have debt. So that's part of it. And at the end of the day, wealth creation is just an outcome. That's all it is. And really, for us, the wealth creation part is more. What's our definition of wealth creation, Mick?
You do less and others do more. So in other words,
you are. That's
how do you get the business to work for you?
Right. That is the true definition. So, yes, there is a metric around it, but really, when you can see, you can work on your business, as corny as that sounds, but you can work on your business more, and you get, others to get everything else done for you. And that goes for everybody, not just the owner, not just the senior managers. That's for everybody. So it's very, very exciting to get some of these results in your business. And then, all right, well, Mick, does this come for free?
No, it doesn't. But it's an investment, and we want to get a return on investment, and that's the goal of the academy. So the academy plan, as we've laid out, is an investment of $3,000 per month. Now, everybody in your organization, you've got 50 people in your organization, we're going to be providing training of some kind or other for 50 people. So it really is good value. But the business health test is going to identify ways in which that investment in the first year will more than pay for itself. And what we're going to be delivering as part of the academy plan there on the left side is you'll get your strategy session, you get your business health test, and at that point you can decide whether to get into the program or not. And if you don't, that's fine. There's no charge. Then we're going to do our bi-weekly live sessions, the online curriculum, and each month we'll throw a bonus training in. It might be sales techniques, or it might be project management techniques, but something that will, a standalone. And then we're going to be building, we've already built standard dashboards around, the lead generation and sales activity, around the pipeline, around work in progress management. And then in terms of the performance dashboards, we'll be giving you a weekly flash report that gives you a quick look at your business, and where your monthly metrics are. And all of that is delivered with the online curriculum for $3,000 per month. Now, if you want to go a bit faster, we have the Academy Turbo. And that's where you can get extra time with myself and Andre to do specific coaching. We'll probably do a specific executive workshop for you, and we'll add some specific coaching in order for you to get implemented, more quickly. That's an option. And of course, if you want us to design a complete, separate, customized plan for you, talk to us about that. We can do that as well. So very relatively small investment for over a year. The returns will be massive. So there it is, the Flooring Academy. As I mentioned to you before, in order to get there, if you go to our website and click on the Flooring Academy, flooringbythenumbers.com, you'll see the Academy button there. And when you click on that, it'll give you an option to schedule a conversation with us, and we can talk more about that. So if you've got questions, you can email myself, Mick, M-I-C-K, at flooringbythenumbers.com, or Andre, A-N-D-R-E, at flooringbythenumbers.com if you prefer, a quick email. But you can go on there, schedule some time, talk to us about the program. We want you in the academy. We want you to be successful. We want you to have healthy businesses and engaged employees. This is the program for you.
Great. Love it, Mick. All right. So that's that's a wrap for our academy. And
and look, tune in next week. You know what we're going to do next week? We mentioned the business health test. We'll show you what the business health test is on next week's show. So you'll get.
Yeah, we'll give you. It's a fictitious. So the numbers will be not any one specific organization, but it's going to be a blend of many organizations, so you can get a feel for what the results can come from the business health test. So tune in next Wednesday.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Enjoy.